Hello, everyone. We got a very special and one coming to you today. We have a superstar today. We have the top rated player in the state for the 2024 class. We got a gold medalist, and we have now a future Michigan Wolverine. Hello, Olivia.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So go ahead. I don't know if someone doesn't know who you are, they might not be into basketball or they might need to get their head checked, but go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone.
I'm Olivia Olson. I go to Benildes, and then I just recently committed a week ago to Michigan, so I'm excited for that.
You did. So let's run down on that commitment. You are the first player in the top 40 on ESPN to announce their commitment. You're the highest rated recruit in the history of Michigan women's basketball. I actually think maybe the highest of basketball because I don't think Chris Webber, when he committed in the 90s, I don't think they had recruiting. So you're right up there. What does that mean to you to have kind of that established?
I think it's really cool. I didn't even know that until after I committed, so I wasn't really too worried about it or paying a lot of attention to it. I just loved it so much, and what Coach Rico's building, I'm so excited to be a part of. So that was kind of my main focus.
So we'll start with the recruitment because that's the most recent stuff like that. So when did Michigan first offer? When did you first start to get to know their coaching staff?
I think June of my going into my freshman year, they offered, and I've always loved them. And I kind of started like talking to them a lot, like this past high school season, and just I feel like they've recruited me the best and kind of have been super supportive of everything. And yeah.
And then, I mean, one of your, we kind of see where you've all visited on, your Instagram and Twitter and stuff. I feel that did one of the best things. You did a lot of unofficial visits. You made sure you did the groundwork. You went to visit a lot of places. Why did you feel that that was very important to make sure that you were seeing these schools, getting on campus, getting the feel, so that way you knew you made the right decision?
I feel like that's the best way you can kind of see if you feel like you fit in there, is going on visits. And it's important to meet the current players, and because those are who you're going to be surrounded with, and kind of like-minded people. So going and to practices and kind of going and hanging out with the team is really important. And I feel like that kind of like helped me feel the culture for each school and what would fit me the best.
And then I know it was, what was it, August. I think you had narrowed down to a top 10. Even just narrowing from a top 10 from the country, did you feel that kind of took some of the pressure off recruiting, kind of made it a little bit easier to manage?
Yeah, it was a little easier. It was less phone calls and that kind of stuff. So kind of took my mind off things, but also I was kind of more stressed just knowing like, well, I'm gonna have to make a decision for one of these. And and I didn't think I was gonna commit this early, but it kind of just happened. I loved it there. So yeah.
And that's the thing, so what is someone who is a top 5 player in the country, you're the highest rated recruit we have in Minnesota since Paige Beckers was #1. That comes with a lot of attention, expectations. I'm sure every coach in the country is pulling you in 90 different directions. How much of a relief is that, or a weight off your shoulders knowing I'm committed, I know where I'm going, I ain't got to take 10 phone calls or 10 times 4 because there's four coaches at each school. How much of a relief is that?
It's a big relief. I'm so glad to just kind of focus on this high school season and kind of our goal of winning state this year, and then finishing my last AAU season with my team. Just kind of just worrying about that and knowing that I'm already committed and ready to go. So.
And so we can go into that. So you got 2 years of high school left, one more year of AAU, have a gold medal. What's the next in line that is your goal as a basketball player? Is it that state championship, getting back to state?
Yep, definitely the state championship this year and hopefully next year.
So where do you think that would rank up there in your basketball accomplishments, being able to get to state and then being able to win at state?
Definitely top two, probably top three for sure. Probably the gold medal and committing, and then state championship. So
I like it. And so you talked about, you play for the Fury, you play for one of the top teams, not only in the state, but the country. You play on the UAA, it's UAA, right?
Yeah.
That, yeah, you play on that. I thought I should know, I better get that right or I'm gonna be in trouble with the Fury people. No, so how did you feel that prepared you best for college, kind of continuing to prepare you for college? How is playing on that circuit helping you?
There's so many top ranked players that we play against every weekend. Like Jelani, Joyce, like we play all of those kind of kids. And I feel like I get better every game and it's always a good competition. And on like the college recruiting side of it, like every time you play a game, like your baseline is filled and sideline is filled with coaches. And I feel like people don't always give enough credit to the Under Armour circuit. But like people are always there and paying attention. And I feel like we have just so many good kids. And the opportunities that the Under Armour circuit has like given me with the Curry camp and the Elite 24 this year, no one else can do that. And so like no other circuits. And so I said that like is preparing me for college. And yeah, it's been really fun.
Let's talk about the Curry camp. What's maybe the biggest lesson you learned from Steph Curry himself, the shooter, the champion? What did you learn from him at that camp?
My like biggest takeaway from him, I just kind of had a one-on-one conversation with him about recruiting, and I asked him like how he knew Davidson was going to be the right fit for him, and like how he knew like how he was going to choose. And he just said, like, he gave me advice and was like, follow your gut, like whatever your gut says, like it's going to be right. And there's always going to be a plan, so like your plan is always going to fall in place if you follow your gut. So
And so, speaking of Michigan a little bit more, was it one of the kind of boxes that you need to check that it was a team that maybe a Big Ten school that came back home a little bit, or, and Notre Dame was on your list, they kind of are close within driving distance? Was it one of the bigger things to make sure that you had an ability for your parents and family and friends to come watch you pretty often type situation?
yeah, that was a big thing for me. I'm really close to my family, and I love when they can come to my games. So playing in the Big Ten, they have so many opportunities, and the Big Ten tournament will be in Minneapolis for a couple years, so that'll be nice. And then just kind of they'll be able to come to the Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, all those games, and it's a quick flight to get to Michigan. So it just kind of that was kind of a piece of it that made sense to me.
So that's another thing. So you're going in there in 2024 class. They have a 2023 in Taylor Woodson, who's also from Minnesota. What would you say is the draw from Minnesota kids to go to Michigan? I know each recruiting thing's kind of on their own. What would you say is maybe the biggest draw that you see Minnesota kids flocking there?
I just feel like the culture is so good there. In Coach Rico, like it's her energy and the way she does things, like she's so genuine. Throughout the whole process, she's been so real, and that's kind of what drew me to her. And I feel like they don't have anything to hide. And so I feel like Minnesota kids, like we kind of from my experience, we kind of like that. And so um I mean, any kid does, but like just kind of knowing that Minnesota kids are going there, I think that will help too. And knowing that they came from your area will help.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, talking about the recruiting process. You talked about your family a little bit. As crazy as it get, how did your family, specifically mom and dad, help kind of keep you grounded, kind of make sure things didn't get too wild, didn't get too overwhelming? I know dad went on a lot of visits with you. Kind of how did they help make sure things didn't get kind of overwhelming for you?
They just kind of told me to take it day by day and not get like too high on things or don't get too low on things. And just kind of they tried and had they to have me do like pros and cons lists of each school, and I would keep like a notebook of what I liked about the campus and stuff like that, and just kind of stay organized throughout the process to make it easier once I got narrowed down. And so, and I think the biggest thing is they've been supportive the whole time, and they always said like, we don't care where you go, we just like want it to be the right fit. And so I appreciate that they were so open to kind of letting me go wherever I wanted.
So who are some of the players that are either on the current Michigan staff that are coming in with you, kind of coming in the class before you that you're most excited to play with?
Probably Macy Brown. She's like my best friend, so I'm excited to play with her. And then Katie Idle, she's coming in the 23 class. And then of course Taylor, I'm super excited to play for from Minnesota. And then Greta, she'll be a senior when I'm there. She's a transfer from Oregon State, and so I'm super excited to play with her. So yeah.
So you went about kind of your journey your way. So I always ask, so now, there's great players throughout the country. You got to know a lot of them through, Steph Curry camp, Team USA. Are you the type to kind of help on the recruiting to say, hey, come join us here at Michigan? Or you always say, hey, if you want to ask me, I'll answer my question, but you don't kind of reach out to say, hey, come join us over here and let's start winning the Big Ten?
I definitely I'm on it on the recruiting side of it. But I never kind of I don't want to take my like friendships away. Like I kind of put those first and put the other stuff aside and let them know that like everything that could happen if they came, but also just like tell them that I'll be happy for them no matter what. So
So I always say game recognizes game. We said you're number 3 in the country, Paige was number 1 in the country. Coming up and maybe because you're 2024 in Minnesota specifically, 25, 26, 27 class, who do you see as that next Olivia Olson as a top 5, 10 kid that could be in the country in the state of Minnesota? Who's that next one to have the baton passed to them from you?
I'd say probably Aaliyah or Madden. Those are two of my favorite younger kids. I think they're so good, and they have so much potential at the college level. And I'm excited to see kind of how they progress.
And so now that you're kind of committed, they said there's no more phone calls recruiting. What are you focusing on kind of as an individual player to kind of continue to work on, improve on, add your game? I know you have a pretty well-rounded offensive game, I would say. So kind of what in your mind is something you're going to continue to work on for the next couple of years before you get on campus?
I'm working on my on-ball defense a lot more to just kind of guard up and not sit back as much. And then on the offensive side, probably just like increasing my range, like in the 3-point line, just like getting deeper consistently.
So about to like half court. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I said you got some deep range, and you're a top for a guard. You have that height, that tall guard, and that gives that ability to kind of see over people. I'm sure sometimes you rise up for a shot and have no idea that a defender is even around you. So
Yeah.
that has to feel good. I would like to. Is your role different? Would you say when you play for the Fury than when you play for Benilde St. Margaret's? How is your role different? How are they the same?
I feel like they're the same as in try and I like get everyone involved. I feel like I do pretty well in kind of being a team leader for both. For Fury, I feel like I bring the ball up more, especially this past year because people were hurt. I brought the ball up more and kind of maybe not necessarily scored as much. I kind of just did whatever it took to win. And then for Benilde, I feel like I score more, kind of like I'm kind of our go-to. Kendall and I and Z, we score, and then just trying to kind of lead more on the Benilde side. I feel like if we're in a late game scenario, kind of just trying to step up and use my voice more. So
How would you say your leadership style has evolved and improved in terms of from being a young one? You're kind of now that vocal leader for Benilde. You have a young squad, a very talented squad. How would you feel you've grown as a leader in that part?
I feel like I've gotten a lot better. I still have a long way to go. But compared to my 8th grade season, I was really scared of talking and kind of never really spoke on the court. And now I feel like I've gotten better just throughout my experiences and kind of knowing that other people look up to me. And so I kind of have to guide even just by my actions. I try and be a leader, and then now I'm working on my vocal leadership more. So yeah.
So we talked about Steph Curry a little bit. Are there any WNBA players or college players, NBA players that you model your game after, that you kind of try and emulate their games?
I love Maya Moore. I loved watching her, and then Elena Deladon,
Very good
Kelsey.
comparison for you.
Yeah, yeah. I just There's a lot of good ones.
And Kelsey Plum, I heard. So I hear someone's going to be watching Game 3 tonight of the finals.
Of course.
You have a prediction, or we don't want to maybe make a fan base mad?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of I'm kind of in the middle.
I think the Aces are going to sweep, so I'll make a fan base mad. I think Aces are going to sweep it, so that's just me. So we talked about Madden and Aaliyah and stuff, very good players. What would be your advice to them in terms of the recruiting aspect? Because they are very much so like you, high demand. Coaches from all over the country are going to want to talk to them. What would you say to them as your advice to kind of make sure they control their recruitment?
To not kind of get lost in what everyone's saying, and kind of like the outside talk. Don't get lost in that, and just kind of keep your circle small with who you're talking about recruiting to not let other people's opinions like make your choice different than what you really want it to be. And so I feel like that kind of sometimes got me like a little mixed up, and so that, and probably just kind of like staying true to your gut, and what you like, you don't have to follow anyone else's path, like just kind of go your own way. So
Very good advice. I love it. I'm saying I'm excited to see you. I think we'll see you back at state this year. I would almost be willing to bet money on that, but I'll say right now, I'm excited to see you for high school. You have another AAU season. Congratulations on going to Michigan. I'm excited to see you at the barn and then Target Center for the Big Ten tournament. You'll be back in Minnesota quite often. We'll get to see you. Before I thought, I want to say thank you for taking the time. You are an absolute joy to watch. You're an absolute joy to talk to. We're very lucky that we get 2 more years with you. And so maybe we'll have you a recurring guest once you win a state championship. We can do a state championship one. So
well, thank you.
thank you. Thank you once again. Congratulations. I'm telling you, when you get on campus, Naz Hillman better watch out. That record might be broken. Someone might be coming for Naz Hillman's record. She just said it. It might only last about another 6 years before someone's there.
We'll see.
Have a great one. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.